I am 82 years old, and last Tuesday I spent 3 hours looking for my reading glasses before I found them hanging around my neck. But that's not what keeps me up at night. What keeps me up is this. I spent 60 years chasing things that don't exist anymore. And you're doing the same thing right now. You think I'm about to tell you money doesn't matter or success is empty. That's not what this is. This is worse. Because I got the money. I got the success. I have the house and the car and the retirement account that makes my financial advisor smile. And I would trade all of it right now this second for one more Tuesday afternoon with my son when he was 7 years old. But those Tuesdays are gone. And I can't buy them back. Let me tell you what winning looked like when I was your age. I was 34 years old, standing in my first real office with my name on the door. Associate Director of Sales. I had fought for that title for 3 years. I wore suits that cost more than my father made in a month. I had a secretary who answered my phone. My wife was proud. My parents were proud. I was proud. Every morning I left the house at 6:45 a.m. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself I was building something. I told myself that once I made senior director, once I made VP, once I made enough money, then I would slow down. Then I would be present. Then I would have time for the things that mattered. That's the lie I believed. That achievement was a ladder with a top rung. That if I just climbed high enough, I could rest. That success would eventually give me permission to live. So I climbed. I worked weekends. I missed birthday parties and school plays and Tuesday afternoons. My son would ask me to throw the baseball in the backyard, and I'd say, "Not now, buddy. Daddy has work." My wife would suggest we take a weekend trip, and I'd say, "After this project, after this quarter, after this promotion, after. I thought I was being responsible. I thought I was being a provider. I thought sacrifice now meant freedom later. Every missed dinner was an investment in our future. Every skipped vacation was proof of my dedication. I looked at men who left work at 5 o'clock and thought they lacked ambition. I looked at fathers playing with their kids at the park on a Wednesday and thought they must not be serious about their careers. I was so certain I was right. The trigger event happened 4 months ago on a Thursday morning. My son called me. He's 48 now, has his own family, lives 2 states away. We talk maybe once a month, usually about weather and traffic. He said, "Dad, I'm cleaning out the garage and I found a box of your old stuff. There's something in here I want to ask you about." I drove over that weekend, 3 hours each way. When I got there, he handed me a shoebox. Inside was a baseball. Not just any baseball. It was scuffed and grass-stained, the leather worn soft in places. On it, in faded marker, were the words, "Dad plus me, summer '89. I held that baseball in my hand, and I had no memory of it. None. My son said, "Do you remember? I wrote on it after that day you finally played catch with me in the backyard. I was so excited because you never had time, and then that one Saturday you did. I kept this ball for 35 years because it was the only time I remember you choosing me over work. One time, one single Saturday in an entire childhood. I stood there in his garage holding that baseball, and I felt something crack open inside my chest. Not my heart breaking. Worse, the realization that my heart had already broken decades ago, and I had been too busy to notice. My son wasn't angry. That's what killed me. He was matter-of-fact about it, the way you described the weather. You were always working, he said with a shrug. That's just how it was. I drove home alone with that baseball on the passenger seat. 3 hours of silence. And I started doing the math. The terrible, irreversible math of a life spent elsewhere. If my son was 7 when we played catch, I was 39. I had 11 more years before he left for college. If I had come home just 1 hour earlier each day, that's 4,015 hours. If I had skipped just one business trip per month, that's 132 trips. If I had said yes instead of after this project just half the time, that's hundreds of Tuesday afternoons. All of it was available. All of it was right there. And I chose the office. Here's what nobody tells you about success. It never says enough. There is no top rung. There is no final promotion that grants you permission to rest. The goalposts move. The ladder grows. The after never comes. I made senior director. Then I wanted VP. I made VP. Then I wanted senior VP. I made enough money to retire comfortably. Then I wanted enough to retire luxuriously. Every achievement created a new gap to fill. Every milestone revealed another mountain. And the entire time, my son was growing up in real time, not later, not after, now. The truth I found too late is this. The things we chase don't accumulate. They evaporate. The corner office I fought for? Someone else has it now. The deals I closed? Forgotten. The awards on my shelf? Dust collectors that my son will throw away when I die. The promotions I sacrificed everything for? They mattered intensely for about 6 weeks, and then they became the new normal, and I was chasing the next thing. But that baseball, that one Saturday, my son kept it for 35 years. That mattered. That accumulated. That stayed. We think achievement is what lasts. We think the resume is what counts. We think if we just work hard enough, we'll build something permanent. But the resume doesn't come to your hospital bed. The promotion doesn't call you on Tuesday nights to ask how you're doing. The salary doesn't remember that time you stayed up late talking about nothing and everything. I have money in the bank and no one to spend it with. I have a beautiful house that's quiet except for the TV. I have a son who loves me, I think, but doesn't really know me. How could he? I was never there long enough for him to learn. And now I'm 82. I have bad knees and worse hearing. I forget where I put my glasses. I get tired walking to the mailbox. And I would give every dollar I ever made, every title I ever earned, every hour I spent in that office, for the chance to go back to one Tuesday afternoon when my son was 7 and say yes. Just once more. Just yes. But I can't. That's not how time works. You don't get the years back. You don't get a do-over. The people you love age in real time while you're chasing things that don't. So let me tell you what I wish someone had told me when I was your age. You are standing in the good part right now. Not later. Not after the promotion or the raise or the achievement. Right now. This boring Tuesday. This regular afternoon. This moment you're treating like a stepping stone to somewhere better. This is it. This is the somewhere better. And you're missing it because you think it's the before. Your kids won't remember how hard you worked. They'll remember whether you were there. Your spouse won't remember your job title. They'll remember whether you saw them. Your life won't be measured by what you accumulated. It will be measured by who was in the room. I'm holding this baseball right now while I'm telling you this. I keep it on my desk. It's the most valuable thing I own, and I got it 35 years too late to do anything with it. Don't let the thing you chase turn into the thing you regret. Don't trade the real for the resume. Don't spend 60 years climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Because one day, you'll be 82 years old, holding evidence of the life you missed, and all the success in the world won't make that weight any lighter. The people you love are aging right now. This moment is disappearing right now. And whatever you're chasing instead of being present, I promise you, it won't matter as much as you think it will. I know because I have the office and the money and the proof that I won. And I lost everything that mattered.